I was waiting to pay a bill outside of a convenience store, and I was talking to my mom on FaceTime, and from the convenience store comes this high school kid, and about a second later, this psychopathic, 30-year-old guy comes out and shoves him and starts screaming in his face and picking a fight with him.
Oh, no.
Kid was probably 16, 17 years old. Couldn't have been older than 17. So, dude comes out, shoves him, and I have to tell my mom, I have to go now. And I hung up, I walked up to the two of them, and this crazy guy is screaming in this poor kid's face, and shoves him really hard a second time. And I told him, tachi shinai zo, don't tachi shinai yo. I didn't say zo. That makes me sound like Yakuza. I wouldn't have done that. But basically, don't touch him.
Yeah.
And and he said something like, I don't have to listen to you or something. And I was really don't touch him. And he asked me, omae wa dare? Which is who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
And
just really blunt, who are you?
Yeah. And I said, boku no namae wa Addict desu. I just basically said, my name is Alec.
Boku no namae wa Addict desu. So
it's literally saying, my name is Alec. Not even
hello,
I'm
my
Alec,
name is Alec.
Yeah.
Somebody's like, who the fuck are you? Oh, hello, my name is Alec. It's some shitty comedy from the 80s where a caveman is transported, but not even Encino Man, because, Brendan Fraser was hip with it. This is if Encino Man instead of Brendan Fraser starred, what's the guy from 60 Minutes? Andy Rooney?
Oh, Andy? Okay, yeah.
It's like Encino Man starring Andy Rooney instead of Brendan Fraser. And he comes from the past, and he's like, hi, I'm Andy Rooney. And they're like, who the fuck are you? If you don't answer me right now, I'm gonna fucking stab you in the neck, you piece of shit. And he's like, hi, I'm Andy Rooney.
This actually is a thing that's happening literally 20 feet from where I am. There's this woman.
As we speak.
There's a woman across the street, and every night she leaves her door propped open about 5 inches, just enough for a cat to come through. Now, I lived in this area 6 months ago, and I didn't notice it. And I talked to the neighbor downstairs about it. I was like, there's a lady across the street. She's letting cats into her apartment. She just leaves the door open all night. And the lady downstairs says, yeah, did you not notice that the last time? I was like, no. And she said, okay, it's well, watch the cats that are there right now. There's a black and orange one, and a white one, and a black one with white feet. Okay? It's they're gonna be gone.
Is inside the house?
No, outside
or
the
around
house.
The house?
Around the house. Right outside the house, there are those cats hanging out. I was like, yeah, I saw those cats. And he's like, okay. And she told me, watch it, because those cats are gonna be gone in 3 weeks. And I've been watching it, and it's about 3 weeks later. Those cats are nowhere to be seen. And there's a new group of cats going in and out of the house.
Who was it telling you about this?
My neighbor. She could not believe you didn't notice that the last time. Yeah, it's a thing in this neighborhood.
The old lady leaves the door open. Did you notice it was a cat size amount open before you saw the cats?
I noticed the door was open in the mornings. I'd go to work and I'd the door's propped open. I guess she gets hot. Because it is summer. And,
okay.
But last time it was winter. I don't know why I didn't raise any questions then.
So all year round, she just leaves a door cracked for the cats to come in.
I guess so. And, so yeah.
Does she have, cat lures around, hanging in the trees?
No, the cats just...
Does her house just, reek of fish or something? How do they just wander in?
I didn't want to get too close to it because I'm scared. But I did smell near the door, as close as I could get, from street view, and it's I couldn't smell anything. But no, they hang out.
So she just leaves the door open, thinking it's only a matter of time until some cats show up and come inside.
But I think one cat brings more cats, because...
Oh, so she has an inside cat.
No.
Who she bribes.
Oh.
To convince all the other cats to come into this cat collector's house.
It's this cat cult.
Where she does God knows what. The cat cult.
The cult of the cat. I think that, but no joking aside, I think that's what's happening. Like, one cat figures it out and then brings friends, and then the cats start disappearing. And people in the neighborhood know this. I was hanging out, I was like buying coffee or something at a vending machine before work, and I heard like outside, and the old man, I couldn't see it because I was actually like too close to the building. But in the reflection of the building across the street, I saw her neighbor come out with a broom and just like freaking like angry, just start swatting at the cats to get them to go away. So he knows it's happening, and he's pissed off.
He's dealt with these cats before.
He was super angry. And there's another guy down the street. He has in his driveway one of those lasers that, like, if you cross it, it sends like a high frequency, like beep beep beep, that like humans can barely hear, but like it drives cats crazy.
So these cats are terrorizing this neighborhood.
It's this one street, and yes, people know it's happening, people hate it, and I'm pretty sure it seems like there's something shady going on. And actually, I'm not pretty sure. I hope there's nothing going on.
Wouldn't there not be a cat problem? How is she killing the cats, but there's still enough for them to be an incessant nuisance? Maybe she's just keeping them.
Oh, and there's just like 200 cats. They don't want to leave.
Yeah, in her house, and eventually they just get lazy and don't leave. They
become little Garfields, little Japanese Garfields.
Yeah, they all.
You know what? I'm gonna
hate Mondays.
They all just hate Mondays. Actually, I was about to say, like, I just gonna imagine that all those cats are living in there, and she just bakes lasagna for them.
What was supposed to be a creepy story is now kind of sweet.
Yeah.
Just a lady with a bunch of cats eating lasagna, having a good time.
Maybe she's like John. Who knows?
All right. Well, I'm going to need you as our Takasaki correspondent to keep an eye on the place.
I will
give us any updates.
I will send an update as soon as possible if the bombing doesn't drown us out.
Our buddy Paul was visiting. He's from Noblesville, just like Alec and a lot of our other buddies.
I wish he was still here.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Paul. He
headed back today. Headed back? Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
He headed back today, back to South Korea where he teaches English. He didn't study Japanese like Alec and I did, like in school or anything. So he's just now being introduced to the Japanese language. And I noticed him when he was in Shimokitazawa hanging out with us. He would say a lot and sound like the Fonz.
You just did the two little gun thing like, with you as you were saying. I got a.
So just periodically, Paul would just say a, and I'd be like, oh, Paul's like picking up a Fonz thing. That's pretty cool. I like that.
How is that cool, by the way, right off the bat? He's acting like the Fonz.
Because it's Paul.
Paul's acting like the Fonz.
Yeah, like, all right, I'm down with that. Right on. Sit on it. A.
Sit on it.
And
all right, keep going.
He did it enough that I was like, okay, this is definitely a new affectation by Paul, but I'm digging it. And then throughout
question it. Okay.
Later in the night, I realized that he wasn't mimicking the Fonz. He was actually trying to say something in Japanese.
He's trying to speak Japanese.
That's very common if you ever watch Japanese television. In Japanese, it's not really a word. It's more of the equivalent of how we would say or whoa or wow. It's kind of more like wow.
I think wow is a decent description for it. Yes, wow.
And it has a lot of different connotations, but generally it's one of either like surprise or sometimes being impressed or astonishment. You can say
hey,
like rising intonation, like eh. If you watch Japanese TV for 2 seconds, you're going to hear somebody say it.
Oh, the variety shows? You can't go 5 seconds without hearing it. It's just constant. Japanese variety shows.
And if you don't know anything about Japanese TV, you're watching the TV program and there's 4 or 5 celebrities that they call talents up in little bubbles around the screen, watching what you're watching and reacting to what you're reacting to.
So you can see their faces and hear them react.
Like,
and at home, you know how you're supposed to react.
Oh, this is how I'm supposed to feel about it.
I'm supposed to go, hey.
So he was trying to do that, which, listen to the difference. Hey, hey. It has a rising kind of like, you're asking a question. Mm-hmm. You're curious. But Paul, when I realized that's what he was doing, I kept having him repeat it like, okay, try that again, Paul. And he's always just like, hey.
Hey. Which I almost don't want to correct him anymore. Like, I think that's like a nice reaction to like someone telling you a surprising story.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
yeah. Hey.
Hey. Hey.
So like, yeah, this town, it's over 600 years old. There's actually an original Viking settlement from, that actually predates the town. It's centuries old. Hey.
Hey.
Got a Viking fan here. Thank you, sir.
This piece of art was created when the artist was only 28 years old, and it's considered one of the greatest masterworks of all time.
Hey. No matter how many times we described and showed Paul how it was supposed to be pronounced, he pronounced it that way.
There actually is something fun about going to the video store and shopping around for a video.
Yeah, I love it. I've seen on Instagram in the U.S., those kind of niche video shops are opening that specialize in old horror movies on VHS because that nostalgia is so real and strong. And
I might do that.
it's kind of like barcades opening up.
Yeah.
Arcades can exist on their own, but with booze, perfect combination. Mm-hmm. And Japan hasn't really seen that whole gravity change yet, but it'll come. But Japan will just have the weirdest niche video stores forever, I think.
I think video stores are a bit more viable here just because of the way internet works. Internet just worked better for me back
in Japan. You have to put the cable up your butthole. I could never really figure that out.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, you're supposed to put it up your butt until you come somehow. Like, you're supposed to actually fuck yourself with the cable.
And it can tell if you don't come.
Yeah. And then it's just like, okay, you fucked yourself. Now you get internet for 20 minutes.
Until you come again.
And then you have to come again.
Yeah, and there's a little robot that, like, harvests your cum and collects it in batches, and then the cum service comes and picks it up. And they take it... What do they use it for? I never really could figure that out.
Oh man, what do they use it for? They use it to choke you to death the next time you need internet. They just pour it down your throat and choke you to death.
Until you come, and then they stop and give you 20 more minutes
of internet. Yeah.
Because a lot of people can't finish unless they do that. I remember now, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly why. All, like, very, very gross. That's the grossest we've ever gotten, by the way.
That was pretty fucking blue.
Yeah. We were appropriate for, like... We held it in so long that it's like, let's just let it all out. We were appropriate for 11 or 12-year-olds until just then, and now now all we are is something an 11 or a 12-year-old would listen to because they think it's naughty.
Exactly. Which we gotta find an audience somewhere.
I always talk with people about how they would never eat dog or cat. Mm-hmm. My sister ate cat, actually, from a Vietnamese couple in the United States once. And
yeah, I don't really jive with that.
Yeah, most people don't. Like most people don't. And one of the things that's really easy to get here is whale. And have you had it yet?
No.
It's
you ate it?
Yeah, I got whale.
You ate the majestic giant of the seas?
The thing that's illegal to hunt in most countries.
Which type of whale? You can't just call it whale.
They didn't write his name on the menu before they gave it to me or anything, but.
No, not his name. It doesn't say what kind of whale.
No,
this is a big fish we found.
Yeah, it just says it's a whale. It's a whale. We put it on rice and wrapped it up in seaweed and called it sushi.
Okay, go on.
It was actually my first time at one of those conveyor belt sushi restaurants, which I highly recommend.
So you know it was quality whale. If it's delivered to you on a conveyor belt for 100 yen.
It might as well have been. It wasn't disgusting. It didn't taste like it was rotten meat or anything.
Okay.
I cannot believe that we're extincting a species over... I think that's what's disappointing is how disappointing it is. Yeah. It's not disgusting. It's not good. It's just...
It's not worth it. Don't eat whale.
Yeah, don't eat... Yeah, why are we
Why
doing
did you
this?
do that? Yeah, Alec, why did you do it?
Because it was on the menu. And
you were curious.
And I won't be curious again.
So this whole cottage industry that's putting these beautiful creatures, the largest mammals on Earth ever, I think. I'm not sure if I'm right about that, but I think whales...
I think they're up there, yeah.
I think the blue whale's the largest mammal ever.
Yeah, it's like absolutely insane. But yeah, I think you are right. Whales are beautiful, and they're going extinct to make very not satisfying sushi. It's still not cool.
Don't eat whale.
Dude,
That's stupid.
Don't eat whale, guys. Don't eat shark fin either.
And it didn't even make for a very good story. You basically just said, it was fine.
You're
and
right.
Then why did I eat it?
The story is actually about like eating the meat. It's it's not good, it's not bad, and which actually makes it somehow absolutely worse. Literally every free moment of my day has been on Reddit. I was on the train, I was on Reddit. On lunch, I was on Reddit. I was waiting for you today.
I remember those days. It's going to get darker before it gets better, Alec.
I got to hit rock bottom first.
You have to binge on Reddit so hard. Sometimes I'll just check in with the generic front page. And it's like after you quit smoking, when you try to smoke again, you expect it to be so great, but it just tastes like ashes in your mouth. That's what Reddit is to me now. But it's going to take you a while for you to get there, I think.
I replaced smoking with Reddit. I really do believe that.
So that was an apt metaphor.
It really is.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was a simile because I said like. It's not a joke. That's just grammar facts.
Grammar facts, yay. But
grammar facts.
Yeah.
You've reached the grammar facts portion of the show. You know, it's okay to end your sentence in a preposition as long as people know what you're talking about.
But it's not okay to write that way.
Oh, write that way all you want. My name's Dr. Jeffrey, and I know all about grammar.
Don't write that way, though.
Remember, don't capitalize the first word in your sentence. You don't need it.
No, please do that.
I'm Dr. Jeffrey, and I studied grammar at the School of Grammar. I have a PhD in grammar.
People will not read your resume. They will immediately look like it was written on a cell phone.
It's useful to write your name in webdings for professional situations.
Wingdings?
No, I use webdings. That's the later version made for the internet.
Is it?
Yeah, I like to use webdings on all of my professional publications. Anybody worth their grain in webdings knows how to read a name in webdings. That's what I always say.
How many bitcoins is a webding worth?
A webding's not worth a Bitcoin at all. It's a font, Alec. I'm beginning to think that you don't know what a Bitcoin or a font is. I'm Dr. Grammar. I have a PhD in grammar, and I'll just show myself out. I heard the word grammar, so thought I'd come in and educate you boys, but it looks like you got this covered. See you later.
Wow, that guy's an asshole, huh?
Yeah, what a dick. Fuck that guy.
You can't stand him. Hope he doesn't ever come back.
You ready for another little music break?
Sure.
So several years ago, I was out drinking with some friends, and I was very, very drunk on the way back home. We need to stop talking about me being drunk because people are going to think I'm an alcoholic. But on my way back, I missed my train. So I had to go to a taxi, which is how every horror story starts. And I go to the taxi. I tell the taxi driver, I want to go to the station. I give him the name of a station. And I'll even say it's Fuchinobe Station. Take me to Fuchinobe Station. I'm like, okay. So he starts taking me to Fuchinobe Station. Halfway along the way, I realized in Japanese I didn't say Fuchinobe Station. I said Fuchinobe Park.
Fuchinobe Koen, right?
Yeah, Fuchinobe Koen. And I'm too proud at that point for some reason to correct him. Because I can tell, like, by our route, like, he could easily just correct this route and take me to Fuchinobe Station. I could pay him the difference, and it's not going to be a huge deal. But I just decided, no, I'm not going to correct myself. I don't want to look stupid in front of this taxi driver. So I'm going to let him take me as far as this goes. And to his credit, he took me to Fuchinobe Park, and he took me to a portion of the park that had no streetlights and was in the middle of the fucking forest.
Nice. You chose pride over practicality, and the taxi driver chose the middle of nowhere for you. Because he knew what was up. He wanted to teach you a lesson.
I think he may have been wanting to teach me a lesson, because I was just like, I don't want to admit I'm wrong, I don't want to admit I'm wrong, and he drove me out into the middle of this place with no lights, in the middle of the woods. I had no idea where I was.
And he very sincerely asked me, like, Coco, like here? And it's just like... And I had a decision. I could have just
He
said
gave you another
no.
test. He was
I
like,
could've-
I'm giving you another out. Is this where you want me to let you go?
And sure as hell, I just said, yeah.
Yep, that's
And
where I
I
need
got-
to be right now.
This is where I need to be right now.
At 2 a.m. This is exactly, thank you. It was urgent that I got here at this time.
It was really important. I got in the middle of this, like, deserted street with no street lights in the middle of the forest at 2 o'clock in the morning. This is exactly where I wanted to be. And I paid him, I got out of the taxi, and he just drove off and left me there.
Why did you commit that hard? That's just pride, or what? You didn't know how to tell him otherwise? Your Japanese wasn't there, or what?
It was all pride. By the way, so anytime I apologize on this podcast for being too prideful, remember this story, because I am too prideful so much of the time. And yeah, that's probably the worst example of me being, like, too prideful to admit that I'm stupid.
But yeah, I'm back in Takasaki now, and I'm back here.
Back where
again
it all
I'm
began.
really happy to be back where it all started. I think I was here when we first started recording. Yeah.
For anybody who's just now joining us, a quick recap. Alec was in Takasaki for, like, months, right? You were there for quite a while.
So I was here for like 6 weeks at one time, and then I had to leave, and then I came back. I was here for like 2 months at another time, and then I left, and now I'm back again.
And while you lived there, he noticed some strange goings-on in Takasaki.
Yeah.
Cats mysteriously
And
disappearing and reappearing, and new cats coming out of nowhere.
I'm going back to that apartment.
That same apartment?
Mm-hmm. I'm going back to that apartment tomorrow night, actually.
You left us kind of unresolved with that issue, so you better get some answers this time. No more of this tiptoeing around like, I think I saw another new cat and a couple other cats weren't there. No, I want something definitive.
I will check in, and I'm going to be very, very specific this time about the cat situation.
And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but our best theory so far is that the old woman is harvesting cats. We don't know why. She somehow can lure the cats into her property, and she's collecting them for some purpose.
She leaves her door cracked open so that cats can just come in. Yes.
Yeah, that's the really weird part.
And genuinely, certain cats just go missing at a certain point. So it's like, there's orange cat with white tail. And then a week later, you never see orange cat with white tail ever again.
And other people in the neighborhood have also noticed and confirmed.
I've commented on it, too. It's like, why? There's a lot of cats that go in and out of that place and then just stop going in and out of it.
All right, so what's your game plan? So we're not going to be all wishy-washy this time. You're going to go in with a strategy. What's your plan of attack, Alec?
If I really, really wanted to be sneaky about it, because, like, part of it, too, is, like, is a cat actually going missing or not? I could start collaring the cats, like pink collars.
Maybe.
And then suddenly...
okay, collaring the cats. That's a little... You have to catch a cat. That's tough. That's not easy.
And it's also tough when you're allergic to cats, which I'm allergic to
Even
cats.
if you can get up to the door and see the woman and kind of gauge her reactions. Pretend to be a Jehovah's Witness, maybe? Or an NHK guy.
Oh, okay.
Have we talked about NHK guys?
I need a black tie. Oh, have we not talked about NHK? That's a subject. We have to do
NHK person.
We have to save that for a whole new subject matter. Oh wow, we can do a whole podcast about the NHK.
But just as a brief kind of so people know what we're talking about, the National Japanese Television Corporation is called NHK. It stands for basically Japan National Television in Japanese. And unlike PBS in the US where they just take their funding out of your taxes and donations and stuff, the payment to NHK is supposedly mandatory. And they send collectors around who say like, oh, you have a TV. We know you have a TV. Pay up. And they can be super forceful.
Yeah, they can be very, very forceful, and you don't have to pay it.
But they won't tell you that. They act like you can be thrown in prison. They throw like threats at you more or less, saying, you know, this is a crime, right? You can go to jail. You can pay like thousands of dollars in fines. They try to scare you.
So we definitely can I have a million stories with the NHK, but just anyone out here listening, just in case you ever get someone from the NHK, don't give them a penny. Or a yen, I guess I should say. Don't give them a yen. Give them a penny because it's worthless to them.
Let's do a focus on this, a whole episode sometime. But that could be one approach. She probably won't buy that one because you're not Japanese, but it might get you to the door.
I'll say I'm from CBS. Like, CBS does the same thing
and
now
think about
in
it,
the U.S.
Alec, you probably think I'm just dicking around for the podcast, but no, I want you to take a fucking risk for this show. I need a story. I need something real to happen on this podcast, something special, and you're the one who can do it.
You want me to make a headline, or you're taking away?
No,
my
not a
press
headline,
badge?
just a story for our show. But if you get in the newspaper,
Okay.
that's even better. Just drop our name a couple times.
Okay. Like, what if I get arrested, and then do you want me to drop our name a couple times?
Yes.
Okay. Kyle made me do it.
No such thing as bad publicity. Yeah, try something. I mean, don't do anything illegal. Don't do anything too illegal.
I'm not doing it. We just had the discussion about not wanting to do illegal shit.
But going up to somebody's door isn't illegal. Just take a little risk.
It's true. Okay. I'll do something a little
Get out there. Get out of your comfort zone. Challenge yourself, Alec. You're stagnant. You're a stagnant human. Your face. I've never quite seen that combination of facial expressions from you. You made
I don't think I've ever made that.
What can only be described as like goofy Tim Heidecker face. But you were serious somehow. You did a like face smushing. Who?
I was like, I was thinking about you're a stagnant human being, and it went from being like, I was kind of like amused, like that's kind of funny, and it's like, wow, that's like the meanest fucking thing anyone's ever called me.
I'm gonna take
stagnant.
I'm gonna take
being.
a break here. None of that is true, and I also want to apologize. I've been a little too hard on Alec lately. I love Alec. I love to push his buttons. I want to make sure you know I'm not serious and that I respect you. You work hard to support your wife. You take good care of your family. She works too, but you take care of your mother-in-law. Family's a big part of your life. You're a hard worker. But you're a stagnant fucking human being. And you have to figure out what happened to those goddamn cats. Or else.
All right. I'm going to save the cat. What if I come in next week and you're like, all right, so update on the cat situation. It's like, we can't talk about it. Like, we can't.
What happened?
Look, the police are involved. Like, I can't talk about it.
They're listening.
I don't want to
they
talk
might be
about
listening.
it. Like literally, it's just like, stop it right now. It's like,
But I have to know what happened.
Like,
Don't you?
So neither of us are very athletically inclined. Neither one of us is very good at sports. We just didn't really grow up with it very much. I've been having a good time playing basketball, and even in college I would play basketball occasionally. But it kind of reached a point where I think I was like 21. I was playing basketball every weekend with some buddies, and it was just like I had to realize sports is never going to happen. I'm never going to be good at basketball. I can have fun. I can contribute to
You were 21 when you realized that?
Yeah, I was just like, I don't know.
In third grade. You want to hear the moment that I realized that?
Okay.
I remember it
yes, I would love to hear.
distinctly.
What?
Distinctly, I remember it. The last game of the season of the Junior Tigers at Bluffton Harrison Elementary School. The year 1996. Or
Way
97.
back.
I was in third grade. Probably 97. The last game of the season. I was friends with the guy who was really good at basketball. And I was on his team. And I remember the coach that game. I didn't score any points the whole season. 0. And the last game, I remember everybody on my team and everybody on the other team helping me to score a goal so that I could score one goal that season. I'm not joking. I remember like people on the other team were stepping back. The forward was like sticking his arms out like, guys, come on, give him his space. He's going to do it. My friend who's good at basketball sending me like an easy pass. I catch the ball. I'm like adjusting my sweatbands mid shot setup, doing a couple dribbles, taking a shot, complete bits every time, not even close. Not even toward the goal.
You're just running up and taking it, and everyone's just like waving their hands like.
There's silence. Like you can tell this is everybody in the room is trying to make this a feel good, heartwarming scene where I'm finally gonna get my goal. But each time it's handed to me, and I can feel like, guys, it's not going to happen. Like, thank you for trying to give this to me, but it's almost aggravating now because now I'm just a recipient of your sympathy. When I never asked to be, and I never scored the goal, people held their breath.
You didn't score? You didn't?
Never
Even
got
after
it.
all that, you didn't?
The room became silent. People were holding their breath. Like, is this the time? Is this going to be his Rudy moment when we can all cheer and go and like pick him up on the court? Never happened. The game ended. I went home and nobody talked to me.
No, it's the difference between a Rudy moment because a Rudy moment, Rudy was actually good for 2 plays. Rudy actually fucking did something really cool for 2 plays.
Yeah, exactly. No, I wasn't going to have a Rudy moment. That's the thing. It wasn't going to happen.
I'm sorry.
3rd grade, and I said, you know what, sports? Peace out. I'm out. I got cartoons to watch. I'm going home.
I'm not against questioning doctors. When I was in America, I was lucky to have a very, very nice doctor who I knew took care of me very well. And one time she screwed up. Like, she gave me some medicine that made me pee, so it hurt really bad. And she was really quick to be like, that's kind of weird. And it's like, I'll be right back. And she left the room and came back. She said, like, yeah, so I just read a report, like 1 out of every like 2,000 cases has someone like urinating that feels like knives. It's like, so you're one of those 2,000 cases. I'm going to send you a specialist.
A dick knife specialist. I hear your dick feels like a knife, huh? Yeah, mine too. Let me tell you what I do. My name's Dr. Jeffrey. I'm an expert on grammar, and I'm an expert on dick knives.
Damn it, is this guy really going to be coming back all the time?
I'm back. Let me tell you about dick knives.
Great, please.
What I do is I hold the pee in, hold it in.
Okay.
Are you holding it in?
Actually, yes.
Just keep it in there as long as you can.
Okay.
Eventually that pee is going to go away.
Okay.
Now, in medicine, that's what we call a disappearing pee. And that's perfectly normal. That's perfectly healthy.
What you're talking about right now.
And if you never pee again, you don't got to feel the knives in your dick. It works all the time. I do it all the time. I'm doing it right now. All right, I'm Dr. Jeffrey. If you have any more questions about grammar or knife dicks, look me up. Here's my card.
Goodbye.
Bye.
I won't be keeping your card. It's going to go right in the garbage. Boy, am I happy he came back. That really.
You know, I think I'm starting to like Dr. Jeffrey.
I know you are.
I think he's onto something. Sounds like a knowledgeable guy.
You really think he's onto something?
Yeah, I think he's a knowledgeable guy.
You really think he's genius?
He is a doctor, after all.
Really think he's something that just off the top of someone's head kind of just works, huh?
Yeah, the cat's meow. Meow. Dr. Jeffrey, hope you come back soon. Love you, buddy.
I don't. Bye. Goodbye, Mr. Jeffrey.
One night I was just like goofing around on my computer. I get a knock at the door at like 10 o'clock. And I open the door. It's this Korean guy who, he speaks Japanese about as well as I speak Japanese. And he speaks English about as well as he speaks Japanese. So we're having a very difficult time communicating with each other.
How's your Korean?
Rusty at best. But full disclosure, I don't speak any Korean.
So your 0 level Korean.
My 0 level Korean was not helping the situation at all either. But he starts making it like just through gestures and like how little we can communicate with each other. He wants to come into my apartment so that he can go out on my balcony and sneak into his apartment next door because he locked his keys inside.
That's a lot through hand gestures. You either did really well or you missed the mark entirely.
No, when I invited him in, I was actually kind of scared. Like, is this what he wants to happen? And so I had him come in, and sure as hell, like, he goes out on the balcony,
takes off his belt, starts unzipping his pants.
I was almost expecting that to happen. I don't know what the hell's gonna go on here. But sure, so I was on like the 5th or 6th floor too. I was really high up. And yeah, he climbed out like on the ledge of the balcony and like slipped around like the divider between our apartments.
Wow.
And got into his apartment to get his keys. And I was like, oh, that was kind of weird. Then I went inside and I realized that he could have just been a thief who just broke into some person's apartment.
That's how they would do it. Just very charming, nonchalant. Hey, left my keys in the apartment. Do the old balcony switcheroo.
Is it really that charming when you come in and it's like, I don't speak, and you can't understand me at all, but I'm going to come.
It worked on you.
He was in like pajamas too. Like, he wasn't that charming. You're right, it did work on me.
And they can't catch him. He never said anything.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't lie. So he brought you in on the crime. You're now an accomplice. In fact, he can just blame it all on you.
He probably could have if he really, really wanted to. And that's everything you just said was totally going through my head at the time. And all I could think was like, I'm going to go to jail or something. So I need to make sure that that guy isn't robbing this person's house or, God forbid, killing someone or something. And so I come up with a very, very bright idea of I'm going to go next door. I'm going to ask him for his ID and to show me a piece of mail with his name and address on it.
Okay.
And
pretty quick thinking.
I was very proud of myself, actually. I don't think
nobody else was.
Nobody else could have done it on the spot like me.
Okay.
Nobody else probably would have let him do what I did, so that's like dumb mistake number one.
I would have let him do it, and I wouldn't have thought about it. Probably.
I think I know you would have been bothered by it. You would have been like the whole time. But
luckily, I don't have any neighbors, and I'm on the first floor. So if anybody wants to break in,
they can just climb into the window themselves.
They don't have to ask awkwardly without any words.
Oh, but yeah, I went next door, and actually he was on his way out as soon as I opened my door to give me Korean souvenirs.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so he gave me a bunch of really, really nice snacks for doing it, and I asked him the question. And he was really cool. He was like, oh, yeah, like, I understand, like, that was crazy. And he went back inside, and he got his ID and mail, and they matched, and...
Since he actually is your neighbor, he was probably grateful that you took that extra step.
I would think so. Like, wouldn't you? Like, that was another thing I thought, like, I didn't want to make him upset, like, I don't trust you. But at the same time, like, you have to understand, like, letting people break into other people's rooms is dangerous, right? Yeah.
So how did you ask him if you were basically playing Pictionary the whole time? Or not Pictionary, charades?
I think I brought my ID, and I brought a piece of mail that happened to be in my apartment, and it's just like, I want yours. And like, he's like, it's like, I let you go in using gestures, like, I want these to look here. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah, sure.
Oh.
But besides that, he was a very, very nice guy, probably about my age, and I'm sure struggling just as much as I was to get around, and
was that the beginning of a beautiful friendship?
I never saw him again. He used to play like Korean pop really, really loud. So like if I was on the balcony, you could totally hear it next door.
We saw the new Star Wars movie.
Yeah, I've actually seen it twice now. I also saw it on Thursday night at midnight, all the way through, 3 days ago, back in the past. I saw it in the past twice. Thursday and Sunday. The 3 minutes of Luke scratching his beard in high-resolution surround sound, and then the camera slowly zooming in for 3 minutes. I thought that was a little too artsy for me, usually, for a Star Wars film. But, man, if it didn't work.
At first I was like, where are you going with this? And about 2 minutes and 30 seconds in, I was like, oh, I got it. It really tied everything together.
When the ASMR kicked in, and you started coming in your brain, it all, like, wow, this is a multi-sensory experience. They're really taking Star Wars to another level, breaking new ground with this franchise.
I think they have to be the first film to experiment with ASMR, right? Or the first, like, motion picture to do it.
I think so. I think they might be, yeah.
And that's just impressive. And it's one of those ideas. It's like, why hasn't anybody else done this before?
Truly innovative, unique storytelling from the Imagineers at LucasArts Disney Films.
I thought it was amazing.
How'd you feel about the sound peripheral that they handed out? The little suckers that would vibrate in your skull, and then it was Yoda's voice talking to you, giving you advice for watching the film.
I was upset with the flavor I chose. I chose light blue lightsaber, which was it's kind of like, I guess, supposed to be like Hawaiian kiwi something. I don't know, but having my skull vibrate with Yoda's voice commenting on the movie, I thought that was better than 4D. Like, it's really amazing how they turned 4D into 5D. Or even 6D.
It was kind of like a Yoda commentary. He was explaining how the scenes were made, and like, oh, pay attention, should you now. Coming up next, more Ents are. I actually got the Yoda flavored sucker. Do you know what Yoda tastes like? He tastes kind of like the Circus Peanuts candies. And that was the correct choice. When you go back, if you see Star Wars again, definitely pick the Yoda flavor.
You know, every time I see Circus Peanuts on the bowl at my grandmother's house, because that's where they're at, I always think like, man, why isn't there more food that's flavored like Circus Peanuts?
It works for everything. Hot dog buns.
We've gotten, not pressure, I think this is okay to talk about. Nami's brother is very, very into us having a kid, and he really, really wants us to start making a kid right now. We're going to start in the next few months. Like, we're very, very excited to start in the next few months. Yeah, I'm going to phrase it this way: whatever God blesses us with beforehand or after, it's going to be amazing. But we're planning on starting in the next few months.
Okay,
that's the plan right now.
Planning to start, I think, is a really good way to put it, and a really good mindset. Because it took us an incredibly long amount of time. Like, a period of time where I was questioning, like, does everybody take this long? Like, I never imagined it would take so long to have a baby. Because in high school, you're always told, like, never ever have sex ever, because, like, if your wiener looks at a girl, she'll be pregnant and you have a baby.
Right. They make it sound so scary. But also when you're, like, 17... you're just like shooting cum out of your ears. And I imagine it's like super cum. That every single sperm is just like Usain Bolt running for the egg, whatever egg it can find.
Did you come up with all that, or did you take that from? Wow, that's amazing. High five. That's awesome.
But no, like, saying, like, we're going to start trying is a really good outlook, I think.
Yeah, I remember you saying that you and Chico were making an effort to have a child for, what, like a year? How long was that process?
Might have been close to a year and a half. And it didn't end up happening naturally. What is it called? In vitro.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that. You guys did that.
Yeah. I had to, like, whack off into, like, a little jar.
Put it so delicately. Like jerked off into a cup and a baby popped out.
I jerked off into a cup.
You did in vitro fertilization. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Good. Yeah. Yeah.
You let science do the job that you weren't man enough to
do. Totally wasn't up to the task.
You fucking cuck.
By the way, I'm shaking my head at all this.
We need to talk about our final update on the cat situation in Takasaki.
Oh, yeah. Alec and I got so swept up when he was moving away to Takasaki. We got excited about whatever else we were talking about. We forgot to update. Alec has some answers to this mystery that's been ongoing since the very first episode of this podcast.
So just to update everybody, for several weeks over the course of the year, probably the past 4 months spread out throughout the year, I've lived in Takasaki. And I lived across the street from an apartment building with a woman who would let stray cats in and out of her house. She would keep the door propped open at night and allow cats to wander in and go free. And what was very strange about it is that many of the cats would go missing. You wouldn't see the same cats for very long. And we never really got any closure on the story, so I finally had enough. And I went and I knocked on her door, and I knew I was leaving. I knew this was going to be my last chance to get the scoop on this. So I went and knocked.
So excited.
So I went and knocked on her door. She opened like with the chain, with the chain blocking it. She's like, "What do you want?" And I was like, "It's like I want answers. It's like I want to know what you're doing with these cats."
Holy shit! Just laying it down.
Just laying it down.
You didn't try to be
no bullshit.
Not pretending to be a Mormon or an NHK guy. Just going straight in. I like it.
I was Miami Vicing that shit.
I like it. My pep talk worked for you. I called you a stagnant human being, and you got shit done.
Yeah, I had nightmares about it that night before I went in, and so she said, "I respect you," and she closed the door and let me inside. And as I walked inside, I was greeted by a cavalcade of cats in tuxedos.
Oh, wow. So hold on. I was still processing that she actually was collecting cats. Fact.
Yes, she was, in fact, collecting the cats the whole time.
And she had them dressed in tuxedos?
Yes. And some of them were in the Dumb and Dumber, light blue, orange tuxedos. She kind of had a variety. It was impressive, to say the least. So we sat down.
Who made the tuxedos?
I'm gonna guess her.
They looked kind of homemade.
They looked homemade, but fairly skilled. I mean, I saw a sewing machine too, so that could have been part of it.
Fancy for a cat tuxedo.
Fancy for a cat tuxedo that looked like it was from Dumb and Dumber. Yes. And so we sat down. We had some tea. We had some mochi, and I asked her why are you collecting all these cats? And she said, "I've been collecting these cats for several years, and what people don't understand is that these are at-risk cats. The neighborhood that these cats live in is not the best.
It's rough for cats, at least.
It's rough for cats. The cats don't get the cat education that they need to get a cat job. And this woman has opened up her home to help teach these cats the fundamentals of hospitality. How to be servers, how to butler, how to be butlers.
Butler?
How to
Teaching
buttle.
them the secrets of butler.
How to buttle, yes.
That's really sweet.
Also,
what a nice lady.
Also, some trades, like some trade school stuff. I saw a cat working on a car in the corner.
This place sounds fucking amazing.
It was pretty great.
Why did you ever leave Takasaki?
Okay, well, we're gonna have to get into that now. So, there was one cat I remember seeing around the neighborhood. It was a very, very interesting calico, and I asked her "Hey, where's that calico cat? Where is he?" Because I remember that all calico cats are boys, so I could use that pronoun. And
good thinking.
I thought ahead on that. And she said he had some behavior problems. I'm like, oh, well, what happened to the behavior problems? And she looked at me with a toothy smile, and she said, "Are you liking your ramen?"
What?
I thought it was this normal miso ramen with some pork in it.
What does that mean? Is that what
I'm pretty sure it was calico ramen.
Oh my holy shit.
So,
she fed you fucking cat ramen?
Cat ramen, calico ramen. And it was absolutely delicious. It had nori. It had a little ginger in it, which isn't normal, but it was absolutely amazing. So I left the apartment because that freaked me the hell out.
Wait, you finished the bowl of ramen?
I didn't want to.
Damn it, Alec.
But I couldn't stop myself.
Whale was one thing, but you ate a fucking adorable tuxedo kitty who was trying to make his dreams come true in the city. You fucking monster.
But I left the house petrified and sick of myself. And the next day I
a belly full of fucking cat ramen.
And the next day I was getting DTs.
Delirium tremens.
I was shaking.
Alec does like to drink, so was that? Do you think it was because of alcohol?
No, I had plenty to drink that morning. Pretty sure I knew what it was. I knew it was because I hadn't had any cat that day.
Oh my god.
So
You're a junkie.
Since I've come back to Kanagawa, my life is consumed, man. I that's all I can think about is like my next hit of cat. Like when's my next fix gonna be of a nice ginger or a black cat.
Jesus, you're a fucking cat vampire.
I had 3 on the way here, and
what?
That just brought me back to normal.
Where did you find them?
You find ways when you really need it. It's not that hard, actually.
This is highly distressing news, Alec. You're a fucking cat eater, murderer. What are we gonna do about this?
I don't know. I just know I need help. And if you're the person who can provide it, that'd be amazing.
Yes, please share any details you might have of what. Who would you even talk to? A therapist?
For anyone who is trying to get me help, please tweet out our podcast. Please tag our tweet. Please tag our
Alec,
podcast.
Alec needs
tweet.
your help bad.
Yes.
He's addicted to cat meat, and that's not cool.
And to get the help I need you to promote our podcast heavily.
This is all 100% factual news and events that happened in Japan, and Alec needs your help. Please help Alec.
I do need help.